Miniature Market has thousands of board games at discounted prices. Click the direct link below for Castles of Burgundy Special Edition or any other game. Hello my friends, it's the Game Boy Geek here. Today we're going to be building castles up on hills overlooking the rest of the lands. Today we're taking a look at the special edition of Castles of Burgundy. This was a huge game found project. Let's take a look. Let me just show you what's in it. I'm not going to go over the overview because I've already done that in a previous Burgundy review. A little bit later I'll show you the link for that. Let's take a look. Now, I'm not going to give you an overview of this game because I've already done that in a previous review. If you want to see the overview of Castles of Burgundy, you can click the little eye up there in the corner. Now, the game, I'm just going to show you some of the things that comes with it, what it looks like. Here is sort of some awesome miniatures, colored, painted for the victory point markers. Now, here is an empty board, double-sided, and I just want to show you what it looks like empty with all the art on there. And yes, by far, it's the most beautiful one to this date. Here are the player boards. They're beautiful, they're huge, they're double layered, dual layered so you can fit stuff. The metal coins are really nice. Spots for the workers, and these crates are actually wooden. They're really nice here. This is just showing you some of the tiles laid out here, a place to put the dice, place to put your tiles before they go onto here. And everything is, like, I think 30% bigger than the original. Now, one of the few complaints I have is that it doesn't, this has like a thing to keep the tiles from moving around, which I really like, but it doesn't, it seems like it's like almost a tiny bit off. It doesn't really cause a problem. But if you look here, we've got edges that you can see here, and then this one is actually within the yellow edge there. You can kind of push it over a little bit, but it's like, it feels like it's not, you have to kind of like tug it to get it to line up perfectly. But now if this side's lined up perfectly, then this side's off just a little bit. So it's not a big deal. Once the tiles are in there, you can't really tell, but it seems like maybe it was off like a few millimeters here or there. Now, here's another part of the aspect that I wasn't as happy with. One of the few nitpicks I have is these are the 4 different miniatures for the castles, and they're very red. This is the Sundrop version, and they look very different from what I was expecting them to be. In fact, in the Game Found project, they looked like they were going to be sort of like a yellowish, bronzish. Even without the sun drop, it was supposed to be like that, and it was supposed to be even more bronzish with that sun drop. So it looks very different. This is what I thought I was going to be getting. And again, this is what it looks like. Now, they definitely look more red when you look at them from like the bottom or like from the side, because the pieces that they are actually red, they're burgundy. Where originally they weren't supposed to be this, but this is what they ended up going with. And so when you go like this, they look really red. And then when you put them this way, they don't look quite as red, but they still look very different from what I was expecting. And probably because they did the wash from like the bottom up, I think, the sun drop. So if it were me, I mean, I got sun drop in other types of Kickstarters and stuff, and I've always loved it. But in this case, I can't say that it just looks different from what I was expecting, and that's the only thing I'm really not happy here. I mean, probably not necessary, but they have these really nice drawstring bags for all the different tile types, even the expansion ones. I mean, these are super nice. I'm not sure they're needed, but man, they are really nice. They feel sort of like leather, but kind of velvety. They're super nice. Now, the game has a ton of the mini expansion modules from previous editions, but there's also a new expansion, the Vineyards, that's here. It has this nice little plastic holder that holds these. And now you can see dice 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And now you can spend dice to take one of these and put it on your map, and it actually takes up 2 spots on your player board, so you got to have a lot of room for it. And then for an action, you can place it. So everyone has their vineyard board. It actually goes next to your player board, and you start on one of the bottom levels, and all of these give you all sorts of different bonuses. And once you build here, you can now build adjacent to this. And what you're trying to do is get contiguous aspects of the different colors of grapes that are there at the end of the game. And because at the end of the game, you're going to look at the size of each, the largest of each of the different grapes that you have, in contiguous fashion, and get points that way. So you're trying to, build a contiguous groups of the different grape colors as well. And when you spend 2 coins to get a tile from the black section of the main board, instead you can take one of these from the store as well. So it's different ways of getting the vineyard tiles. Before we get to the moment you've been waiting for, I wanted to let you know that Game Toppers Kickstarter 4.0 is coming soon, where they'll have 10 new thematic game mats, including Vincent Dutray's Lost Worlds Jungle Mat, and new accessories and storage solutions, along with custom thematic art on rails of the Game Toppers, and they're giving away the new Young Sherlock Game Topper package, which is great as a movable coffee table, children's gaming table, and for puzzles. Scan the QR code or go to GameToppersLLC.com to enter and win now. Yeah, Castles of Burgundy is probably my second favorite Feld. My first is probably Carpe Diem. But this one is the best version by far yet, for sure. The art and the bigger tiles, the dual layered player boards are awesome. You just look at this thing and it finally has gotten the treatment. Now I had the sort of newest redone version. They called it the 20th anniversary edition, which was like ridiculously dumb because the game wasn't 20 years old. The company Ravensburg was 20 years old, so everything they came out with that year was like the 20th anniversary edition, which was weird. Anyway, that was the best version up until this point. It was way better than the older version. It was just the most ugliest thing ever. It's like it can't be a Feld game unless it's ugly, right? And so now they finally gave it the treatment that it deserved. I mean, it just looks so nice on the table. Everything. The tiles are bigger. They've also included many of the mini expansion modules from before. I think they go up to like expansion 10 here. All the different player boards you can use. I think they have all 30 of them that have come out there that you can choose. All the inns expansion and the White Castles and just tons and tons and tons of mini modules that you can add in there. But they've also added in the Vineyard expansion, which is a new expansion for this. And I like that. It gives you more possible placements and different ways to use dice to get other bonuses, to also try to get endgame scoring, but it does, take up two tiles of room on your board. But yeah, overall, I mean, I'm enthused with this. It's a game I really love. Personally, I still like just playing the base game the best. Those other mini modules, they all add little things, which is fine, but I don't tend to play games enough, 20, 30 times all the time to be able to use those things. The base game's just a lot easier to teach as well. But I'm glad that they're there, so for the people that do play it a lot, it's there. But man, the bigger tiles, the fact that those tiles have like the nice look and then you can flip it over where it has the text of what it does. They really had thought about a lot. I remember when they did this campaign, they were asking a lot of questions and polls of what people wanted, like do you want the isometric view or not? And I mean, Alea and Awaken Realms worked really well together for this campaign. I'm super excited for this. It's just now I have like the definitive version of Castles of Burgundy. I think after this, you're going to start seeing other people do definitive versions like this of some of the more classic games that are well renowned and stuff. And I hope so, because these days, there's thousands of games that come out, and more I'm just looking to play the games that I know I love. And if they can come out with a cool, awesome, amazing version of those games that I know I love, I'm more apt to get those than something new these days. But maybe that's just me. Now, again, as I showed in the overview, they didn't knock it out of the park to the point where there was nothing wrong with it. Now, as I showed you, the little plastic inlays and the boards, the way those line up, they're off by a few millimeters, so it doesn't quite line up. Again, once you have the tiles on there, you don't really notice it, but it's just something I notice that looks kind of weird when you're just starting out. Also, as I showed you in the overview, if you haven't watched it, go check it out. Just rewind a little bit, watch it. But yeah, the sun drop, I remember back to Foundations of Rome, where I had the regular copy. I saw what the sun drop looked like, and I was like, oh my gosh, I have to have this because I love this game. Sun drop looks so good, and I'm so glad. And every time I play my sun drop version of Foundations of Rome with anyone, they're like, darn it, I should have got the sun drop. So now, anytime the sun drop's available, I want it, right? Because most of the time the sun drop looked good, but in this case, it was just such a weird thing for me that the buildings looked like golden, right, on the campaign page. But then their final decisions was to make them burgundy, right? Thematically, I guess that makes sense. But it looked very different. And when you sun drop those, it looks very different from what the sun drop version. Now, when I was looking at the campaign originally, I was like, you know what? I almost would like the regular version more than the sun drop, possibly. And then when it showed up, I looked at it, I emailed the publisher, I'm like, was this wrong or what? They're like, no, we decided to go with the burgundy, towards the end or whatever. I was kind of surprised because the campaign page still shows the old images of these golden buildings, and a sun-dropped version of those that look really cool. But then when it shows up, they're like reddish, but kind of, but not really because they're sun-dropped. I don't know. I did not like that. I still don't like it. I think I would have just rathered the regular golden buildings that they originally were going to do than the burgundy ones. I just think they look better. And the sun drop just looks kind of weird on the red, quite honestly. So that's it. Those are my two things that I wish were different. The last one's a bigger deal from the other, but if you didn't get the sun drop, it doesn't matter. By the way, there's many different versions of this game. I didn't get the crazy acrylic tiles or the crazy 3D tiles that have like animals on them, stuff like that. I didn't get any of those. This is just, you know, the standard pledge with the sun drop on top of it. But that's it. Like, if you don't own Castles of Burgundy and you like it, this is absolutely the best one to get. And even the lowest normal like base pledge wasn't ridiculous. Like during the campaign, I think it was less than $100, which is amazing for what goes into this. If you already have Castles of Burgundy and you love it, it's kind of a no-brainer. Like, sell your old one or give it away to someone that you want to get into the hobby, and get this version. It really is the definitive version. I'm looking forward to other people doing things like this to beloved games that a lot of people love. This has been the Game Boy Geek, breaking down barriers, growing relationships with board games, and helping you on the next one you love. Game Toppers not only transforms your existing table into a high-quality gaming solution, but they now offer full leg kits and dining cover solutions for the full table application. Paired with over 20 styles of thematic game mats in 11 different sizes from notable board game artists like Vincent Dutray, collapsible cup holders, and real cool accessories, experience what thousands of other gamers enjoy by upgrading every game you play with a Game Topper system. Save hundreds of dollars on Game Topper package deals that are in stock now for immediate shipping at GameToppersLLC.com or click the link below.